Hello and welcome to Interactive Distractions. My name is Christopher Yo. This is 481, and that was awful. But we're going to keep going.
Been doing this for like fucking 10 years, man.
I've been doing it for years. My name is Christopher Yo. I'm here with Jason A. Stryker.
Hi, how are you?
And Geoff Shorty.
Let me do it over.
Word up, guys.
I'm sorry.
Do it over.
Can I do my intro over? No. We're doing this over because Chris's power went out. So here we are.
I had a power flicker and everything shut down. Came back and they didn't realize I was gone.
Yep. Yeah.
It's like sounds about right. Even here.
We pay attention.
So all sounds about right. But yeah, we're gonna talk some games today. But first, let's find out what's going on. Geoff, how are you, sir?
Hey, not too bad. Work, same old work. Mm-hmm. Not much on the weekend. Taking the cat to the vet, yada yada. Pills. She's got a thyroid issue. Blah blah. The vet kind of screws over, goes higher. Too many pills, too little pills. A lot of money. Here we go. I don't want to do that anymore. I did my own thing.
This is funny to you and me, and that's pretty much it.
I know. Everybody else is like, why is this happening right now?
I was gonna sum it up. We went through all of this before, and then it's just really awkward doing it again. So yes. Long story short, I got to take Kai into the vet. She's fine. It's just a regular checkup thing.
Yeah.
And then we just went on a spiel about vets and how they, bleed you for money for the animals.
And how you need to do blood work. And for some reason, they wanted to do it every time you went in, and it should only happen like once a year. So, Yep. That's expensive. Fun stuff. One of my cats has epilepsy, so we're constantly trying to make sure that she's okay. So that sucks too. I did want to ask you a question about that, Geoff. You said that your cat's taking medication. How do you get your cat to take their medication?
We put it in a little. What did you say?
At gunpoint.
At gunpoint. Oh yeah, seriously.
Like you got the water sprayer ready. It's like you swallow that shit.
Take it or you get the spray.
Yeah, exactly. We wrap it in a little bit of a piece of sliced cheese.
Oh, nice.
Sliced cheese.
Yeah, I didn't even eat that. Jeez. All right.
So Ahsoka
thyroid's fine where sodium's up the fucking
That's right. Ahsoka has to take a pill and a half a day, and we usually just put it in her soft food, and sometimes she just goes around it, and it's really frustrating. So yeah, but yeah, that's the thing. But yeah, good stuff. Anything else going on?
No.
All right, Jason, what's up with you?
I'll go through my shit real quick.
So it's all new to me.
less metal in my body. They took the pins out, which is great.
All of them?
Yes, all the pins are gone.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I still have two little holes where the pins were, but other than that, I have no wounds or openings or any fucking bad shit going on with my left foot. And it's been this way. Like my foot's been fucked up for like 4 years now. So this is the first time I've been able to say that. It's crazy. So in a little while, this next weekend, I think I get to take the boot off. And then not completely, but I can start doing physical therapy with it. Like I can I can wash it, which I have not been able to do. You have no idea how bad this foot stinks. But I've not been able to fucking submerge it in water for months.
Dude, I can't imagine.
It's ridiculous. I've got these plastic like tube sock things that I pull over my fucking my boot. And I've got a shower with the boot on. It's nuts. But yeah,
this is where I inserted my joke about him becoming a soccer player soon. Right. It was right about here.
Yep. I was like, I'm trying on next week.
Next week. Yeah. Next week. That's right.
But yeah, things are looking good there. I can't wait to get this thing off. I can't wait to start fucking working out. Just getting on the bike again. I have so much weight to lose. I've been lethargic and just
you can't really move,
atrophied for years. Like this is before COVID. So yeah, I'm in a rough shape as far as my body is concerned. But we're gonna get back to
baby steps,
fighting shape. right? Yeah.
Just don't take your pills with cheese. You should be okay.
Oh, damn it. I can't stop that. It's too good.
It's too good. You don't taste the pill. It's great. Yeah. Let's see. This week has been crazy. I had some work done at the house. I think Jason knows about the problems that there were with
the ghosts.
My basement basement stairs.
Yep. God.
So yeah, my basement stairs they got pretty scary
because of stairs.
Yeah, because people fall and die. No, my basement stairs have been loose. I'll say it that way. Okay. I've like it's I can
Not
get
only
I can get
like
underneath.
3 inches wide. They're also loose.
I can get underneath the stairs. There's like storage under there, so I put up like wood blocks to stabilize them until I could find someone that would come out and actually fix them. So that got done this week. So I've been working from home all week. It took them about 3 days to do it, but I finally have a new set of stairs coming down in the basement.
Nice.
It was weird working from home because I work from home from the basement, so I had to actually go out the main level,
outside.
Go down the deck, and then come in from the patio downstairs. So, but you do what you got to do. And then we also had I usually don't talk about work, but it was pretty big milestone this week. The application that my team has been working on for the past year and a half or so just went live to all of our dealers, nice. And so it's been very interesting week. We've had there's always a little bit of growing pains, and you're always trying to deal with the things you don't know about. So we got a lot of that stuff taken care of, and yeah, things are running well. The business is happy. So it's been an interesting week.
Congrats. Do you say congrats or something like that, or
yes,
do you say
absolutely
like,
you do. Absolutely,
it's a milestone. Yeah.
I'm looking for ways to take my team out for like a party. We're gonna all go take a half day sometime and go do something. I just got to figure out what we want to do. But it's it was a pretty big step. It was my first greenfield project managing a team. So and it all went very, very well. So I'm very happy about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that's it from the let's see. Interesting timing. My dog has a vet appointment tomorrow too. So, but it's the routine yearly.
Don't let him get any blood work. That's how they get you, man.
No,
just say no, man.
She's due for blood work. It's fine.
Okay,
it's been a year. It's been a year. But yeah, those appointments are expensive, man. The yearly appointments are like $600. It's not cheap.
Jeez.
So she's a 90-pound dog.
Pets now, come on.
They have insurance for pets, and it costs more than if I just paid the amount.
Yeah, pet insurance
it's like
not cheap.
Shit.
Yeah, pet insurance. The problem with pet insurance is that it does cover all of the routine stuff if you pay enough for it. The problem is if you're paying that much, you're paying more than what that routine stuff each year would cost.
Oh, sure.
So you're literally paying extra for that insurance, like if something happens.
God damn it.
And you're essentially backloading it, really, because a lot of animals have the problems later in life, and that's when it's like, fuck.
They got us bent over on all sides, man. This sucks.
Yeah, they do. It's rough. But let's see. Was there anything else? I don't think there's. So Jason, you were talking about getting back in shape. I'm going to be trying to do the same thing. I'm going to start doing martial arts again next week.
Nice.
So my neighbor is doing some Taekwondo. I went and checked out what they're doing, and it's been a while. It's been probably about a decade since I last did martial arts formally, but it'll be nice to get back to it. So we'll see what happens.
You still have your old gear and stuff? Or?
I have some of my old gear, but it's all torn to shit. And this is Taekwondo rather than karate. Right. So some of that gear would be different. The art is definitely different. A lot more kicking. Which makes things a lot more exhausting as well. Punching is easier than kicking, if you did not know that. But yeah,
when I was in Taekwondo, they not specialized in kicking or anything like that, but they kind of spread out. We had like a Brazilian jiu-jitsu guy come in for a few weeks and teach us about that shit. Yeah. So it wasn't just like about fancy kicks and Taekwondo. So they were all like, we did fucking eskrima sticks, which is like Thailand fucking sticks, and it was fun.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Yeah, the dojo I trained at before also independent ones would it wasn't something they all did, but independent ones would bring in like jujitsu and things like that and do like extra stuff.
Good.
Yeah, so that was cool stuff. But yeah, that's it for me. Let's talk some games.
All right.
Who wants to go first? Do we want to?
Let me brush you up on where I'm at. All right. I fell down a hole. Fucking A.
Uh-oh.
God damn it.
What kind of hole?
Fuck. That probably wasn't good for your foot.
Yeah, not at all. So, God damn it. I got a bug up my butt. I wanted to play Dark Awake, which is this game that was only released in Japan. Right. It was an arcade game, but they did make a release in the Japanese PlayStation Store. So it was available for PS3, and I made an account way back when. Made an account, bought the necessary points and stuff, and bought it. I don't know where that fucking PS3 is anymore. It's like, how do I fucking play this game? And I downloaded a couple ROMs, and I'm like, I don't even know what to run this on. Turns out there is a pretty good PlayStation 3 emulator out there.
Really?
And a really good like store as well. Like as far as availability of like, they've got all of the PSN stuff. They've got all the patches. They've got all the DLC and shit like that. It's kind of scary, but also like encouraging in a way that I know that this shit's not going anywhere anytime soon. So,
that is encouraging because that's always been a worry.
Yep.
Like from the PS3 era on, it's definitely been a worry.
Yep.
That's good.
Let me speak from a little bit of experience and say that everything from like the PS3 era before that, solid, pretty good. So, But yeah, I started dipping into other emulators that I haven't really touched, and there was like a PS2 emulator that I've been playing with as well, and then DuckStation, which is a PS1 emulator. So it's been fun, like reorganizing some of my stuff that I've had bits and pieces of. But like getting thumbnail art and, cover art and instruction manuals and shit like that. That's what I've been busy doing. And like doing that with like RetroArch, which is really, really good for older systems as well. It's like a one-stop shop. And stuff. Yep.
Yeah.
So like getting all the thumbnails for that and like all the missing ROMs and shit like that. So that's the hole that I've been in, but it's been super fruitful. Did you know that they made a fucking Guardian Heroes game for the Game Boy Advance?
Did they? Yes, I had that. I own that.
Jesus Christ. I had no fucking idea. No clue.
I think I have it too.
I bought it when I got my DS. I bought like 4 Game Boy Advance games the same day, and that was one of them.
It's pretty good. I had no fucking clue, and it was like because of emulation. Now I know about that. That's pretty rad.
Yep, it's made by Treasure and everything too. I think it's an official
I think
sequel,
so.
right?
I think
I'm pretty sure I have that. Now I kind of like Guardian Hero. Yeah, I'm pretty
Guardian
sure I have it.
Advance. Yeah,
well, that's GBA, right?
Yep.
Isn't that GBA? Okay.
Yeah, I didn't like it as much as the original, just because I thought like the characters were kind of too big for the screen. I thought, but it was. I did like it.
There is another Guardian Heroes like game on DS, and I think they re-release this. Yeah, it's
Code of Princess, right?
Code of Princess. Yeah. It's very, very similar. Not quite as good. I think
not
Guardian
nearly as
Heroes
mitty clothes either. Code of Princess.
lot more bouncing in Code of Princess. Lot more bouncing. But it does have the same.
Was that Treasure as well, or is that?
I don't think so.
I miss Treasure, man. Treasure's so good.
Yeah. Let's see. Code of Princess. I don't think it was Treasure. Let's see. Yeah, it's two studios two developers that I don't know about anything else they've ever done. So
they were inspired.
Studio Sazensen and Gatsuma Entertainment.
Okay. That's
what I got. But yeah.
Nothing but bangers from those studios.
Are those on the R35XXSP thing?
They might be. I don't know. I should check and see. Like I have it right here. Like I have 3 fucking consoles like within arm's reach. Actually, no, it's over there. but I still have the Vita. I got my Vita. I've got my Pocket 3, and I've got this controller for my phone. All within.
Nice.
Just ready to go. Let's go.
Yep.
Let's retro some shit.
You can play all the retro games for 5 minutes each.
Yep.
Literally.
Yeah, that's right. That's how it goes.
But this kind of got brought up because Geoff bought one of the SPs.
Yes,
I did. I should get it this weekend, hopefully.
From Anbernick. Yeah, those are pretty good. Man, I like it a lot.
Yeah. So, I always wanted something like that. Like I wanted something to have all those old games on.
Yeah.
And I love the SP design, man. It's so cool.
It's so, it's very nostalgic to me. So, and it's super comfortable. The buttons are really good. They're a little loud, but they're accurate. I don't mind that. So, it's fine. I'm excited for you to get it. That's going to be great.
Yeah. I was supposed to get it, I think, tomorrow. Mm-hmm. But I got a new credit card a while ago, and I guess I forgot to save it as the default one. So I got an email yesterday being like, your payment didn't go through. I'm like, what the fuck? And then I was like, oh, that's why. So it didn't, when it should have shipped yesterday, it declined the thing. And then I redid it this morning. I didn't have to redo it. I just basically told them, hey, I updated the info.
Yep.
Send it.
Ship it.
Good stuff. I actually still have, I got a, do you remember the Vita TV? I actually got that. I got that on sale. Good. So one of the things I want to do is actually try and hook that thing up and hack it.
Those,
yeah. And I would assume it would work similar, like the same way as it would with the regular Vita. So
for the most part, pretty much all the games, work on there as well.
Mm-hmm. I've got to give that a shot. Good stuff.
Incidentally, most emulators don't run very well on the Vita. I don't know how it is for the TV, but like if you're trying to play like NES or Genesis stuff, it's a huge pain in the ass. But they play PlayStation stuff very well. So
okay.
So there's that. Just be
like PS1 stuff, like I just remember like even the PSP, even the PSP did really good with those older gen emulators.
Exactly. Yeah. So
I don't understand that. That's weird.
So it will do the PlayStation stuff very well. Just anything other than PlayStation family, it's going to balk at.
Interesting.
Like a chicken.
Good stuff. What else, man?
No, that's it.
That's it?
Yeah, for the most part.
All right. Geoff, what do you got?
Oh, fuck, dude. The gauntlet here. I finished up the Alan Wake DLC, Alan Wake Night Springs.
Did it get better?
I liked episode 3. I know Travis is saying he didn't like episode 2 or 3 like at all. I liked episode 3. And episode 3 clears up something that happens in episode 2. That was one of my big complaints about episode 2. It explains why the certain thing, like we talked about it. We talked about how you don't have Jessie doesn't have her powers when you're the control chick, but they explain that makes sense in 3 why she doesn't. So I was like, okay, I get it. But it's cool. You're I can't remember his name, but you're the what's his name dude?
Alan Wake.
No, the guy who's Iceman, whatever that actor
Bobby
guy, and
something.
He was yes, Bobby is the character. The guy who was the Quantum Break main character, and now in Wake 2, he's the sheriff.
Okay.
But so you're like him, and you're going through like you're him as an actor, and you're going through different kind of time periods of video gaming. So you do like a section where it's like a 2D like digitized 16-bit like kind of brawler shooter thing, which is it's really shitty. Like it's real, but it's meant to be really shitty. And then there's like a text adventure part. You're not actually typing shit out, but you're just like hitting like that's what you want to do. Yeah, and it did cool stuff like that. I thought that was pretty cool. I liked it. I thought it overall was worth it. Episode 2 being the weakest one, but 1 and 3 I think are definitely worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What else? I had Bright Memory Infinite recommended to me by One Hot Dragon at Social Gamers.
That sounds familiar.
It was a game. It was announced very early when the new generation was announced. It was like one of the first Xbox Series X games
Bright Memory
that they showed.
Okay.
Yeah, it's made by like one dude.
Oh shit, this looks like yeah, okay. All right.
Yeah, it's like
Some
a first-person shooter with like melee. Shooter. Yeah, and there's melee too. You have like a katana, and it's like kind of like stylish and stuff, and it's kind of like it feels very Titanfall-y if you've played Titanfall, like when you're controlling the pilot, so like the running, the shooting, the wall running, that kind of stuff. You have a grappling hook that's kind of cheese, but it's in there. So I downloaded it on Friday, started it Saturday morning, and finished it Saturday morning.
Okay.
It's very short. Did
they run out of assets to steal? Because that's what it looks like.
It could be. I have no idea. Like I said, it was one guy who made this.
Okay. All right. I'll give him a pass then. But like
or it might be like a couple people.
Looking at the DLC, there's a rabbit costume pack, which is just like the same like Stellar Blade looking chicks, but they have like these tiny little bunny ears on top.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I didn't see that. I mean, if the game does not like, it's stylish, like it looks really good. But it's like the environments and stuff are not something you haven't seen before. And even some of the gun models legit look like slightly modded from Titanfall.
Really?
Yeah. Huh. And it was fun. It was, I can't remember, it was like $20 or something, or $25. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it had like a demo, I think, first that was like cheaper. Then he got a couple other people to help out, like kind of just flesh the game out more and stuff. And it was a fun little 2 hours, and it's kind of meant for replaying it multiple times to get like a better, not score, but there's no way you can fill out the skill tree in one playthrough. So
sure.
Yeah. And it's kind of a good mix of shooting and melee, and wasn't overly hard or
a fun
easy.
Little romp.
Yeah, definitely had some jank to it for sure. So that was kind of cool, because I remember that was like really high up on my list when it was shown, and then I kind of fell off it because I think reviews were kind of like meh, especially for the demo, the first version that came out. So yeah, there's that. What else did I say I played, guys? I don't want to get to Flintlock right now. There was something. Mad Max. That's what I've been playing.
Oh,
a lot.
What brought that up?
It was on sale months ago. Maybe even it was last year sometime. I don't even remember if I talked about it on the show before, or if it was before we even started doing the show again. But it was on sale for like $5, and I remember some people recommending it, being like, "It's really good. It was really underrated." So I'm like, "Yeah, $5. Why the hell not?" And it's really good. I don't know how this wasn't talked about more, especially if you like the Batman games.
Yeah.
Because the combat is straight out. I mean, it's Warner Brothers, so they probably had something to do with that too. But
I remember back at work, Alex Navarro was pretty high on it. He said it was pretty underrated as well.
Yeah,
wow. Steam has it right now as very positive, and recent reviews are overwhelmingly positive.
Nice.
Yeah, it's
95% for recent, and 91% for overall. Pretty cool.
That seems pretty good.
It looks good. Like it's a good looking game.
Yeah, it's like an open world. It definitely looks good, especially for like a last gen game.
For a last gen game for sure.
Yeah, definitely. But it's got the boost on the Xbox, so it's 60 frames and
nice.
Upscale to 4K, and it looks nice. Like, besides the kind of like muddy textures you see here and there, just based on that generation. But the driving's pretty solid. You can build up your car, put different parts on it and stuff like that, and you're fucking like just taking out dudes in cars and then beating the shit out of them and shanking them with shivs and
Friday
shooting
night
them with shotguns. Yeah. It's just like good old time.
Just fired a missile from the front of the car. That's crazy.
Oh, you get a harpoon on your car, and I shot it and impaled the driver of one of the cars, and then I started dragging him behind me, and I didn't realize it was the driver until I reeled in the harpoon really quickly, which like shoots it forward, and it shot the body in front of my car, and then I ran over it. I actually got a clip of that. It was pretty fun. But I played it a little bit ago, but not too much, because something came out when I first downloaded it. But this time I've put in definitely more time with it, and I think I'm going to stick with it.
Nice.
I retroactively went back and like checked out some reviews, and I think a lot of it was fatigue at the time with that type of game, because it's the icons on a map game. It is that, like, it's
okay.
like the Horizon Forbidden West, the Ubisoft games, like that type of thing. It's like, go here, do this, and a bunch of shit pops up in your map, like the Assassin's Creed kind of thing.
Yeah,
that's the thing. I love that shit as long as it's not ridiculous like Assassin's Creed. Like the last few Assassin's Creed are just like unfeasible for me. It's like there's so much to do.
Stuff is just way too big.
Yeah, Valhalla and what is it? Odyssey. Big. Odyssey is before that. Even Odyssey was too big. Yeah.
Yeah. And then what's it called? Mirage was shorter and more streamlined, but it wasn't as good. Like it just felt like their B team did it.
And that's the thing. It's like when I was playing Odyssey, dude, Odyssey was great. Like I loved playing that game, but there's just so much. It's like I need like. Can you cut it down to like a third of what you put in this game?
Fucking serious.
I'll still pay $70 for it. It's fine. But,
yeah. When you go to howlongtobeat.com and like the main story says like 70 hours, you're like, oh fuck no. Like that's
because then you add on side quests and now you're at like 170 hours.
Yeah. You're looking at like Persona type levels for like an action RPG. But yeah, no, I'm really digging it. I like it.
Cool.
Maybe the environments might get a little bit tedious after a while because I mean it's fucking desert. So
there's like one locale.
The world itself looks it's very samey, but that's the way Mad Max is, right? I will say like the cars look great. The models, the character models look pretty damn good too for last gen.
Yeah.
So
there's loot and stuff you can grab, like make yourself look different.
You said the magic word there.
I wouldn't say loot, like you're not finding a lot of loot. It's just like what I mean by that is like you can get gear that makes your character look different and like hairstyles and stuff like that. So it's you can change up that kind of aspect. And there is like sandstorms and stuff that add cool stuff.
Wow, this game is 9 years old. Holy shit.
Yeah, it's fucking old, man.
That's crazy.
It's and the lighting's good. I mean, it overall looks good. Yeah, just the tedium of the environments might kick in at some point, but it's cool. I mean, for $5, like maybe it's just a good time to try it out because maybe back then it could have been sandwiched between a bunch of games that were kind of similar. So it's like, not going to bother with it.
Yeah.
Plus, I've never seen the Mad Max movies, so I need to do that.
Shit, dude. Oh,
I know.
Fuck.
I know. I haven't seen any of them.
The recent ones. You can probably skip the original.
The originals.
And like Thunderdome and shit like that. But
I've only seen Fury Road, but Fury Road was great. Yeah. It was great.
That's the first one, right?
And then
the first of the new ones.
The first one of the first of the new ones.
Of the new ones, like the reboots. Is there 3 or 2?
2 so far of the new ones, yeah.
And so that and Furiosa.
Yeah. Furiosa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that just came out, right?
Yep.
Like that was like a month ago, yeah. I think.
Okay. Yeah.
That I haven't seen yet. So
I started to watch the first one a while ago and then I got interrupted by something we had to go and then I was like, okay, well, and I never went back to it. I will.
Good. They're really good.
It's good.
Yeah, and the other game, Flintlock, came out yesterday. Today? What day is today?
Thursday. Today's Thursday.
Yesterday at 3 a.m. Something like that.
Well, I was definitely not playing it yesterday at 3 a.m. That is for sure. But that's the new joint from Kepler. They did Ashen. Is Ashen the one that they did?
Yes.
The Souls-like with
and like really low poly, no facial features. It was a cool game. But
I didn't play that. I don't think
I played a very little bit of it. It seemed neat, I guess.
So this is something. It's me being the resident AA guy who likes to try out and play AA stuff, and this one it definitely feels like AA for sure. It's okay. So it looks good. That area definitely is not jank. It's not weird. But you see the trailers, you see everything, and the combat looks fucking awesome.
Yeah, it looks very flashy.
Yes, it does. And there is flashy elements to it. And you can do these cool finishers and you get these magic powers and stuff. I only have like 1 or 2 magic powers, which definitely look cool. But it's got that issue that a lot of these AA and like B games have. lately, especially like with banishers and stuff, is the combat just feels weird. Like the basic combat, it doesn't feel weighty enough. The sound isn't quite there, so getting that feedback of like hitting is an issue sometimes. And it just kind of, it's hard to get into kind of like a flow when you're like beating the shit out of these enemies. It's just kind of, you're like, am I doing the damage right now? So you have like a counter, you have a dodge. It's like kind of like a Souls light. So it's kind of like, it's got some Souls aspects to it. So you have like every game these days is that's what that, like this whole genre now is basically rolled up into one.
Yep.
What's funny about me saying that is that if you go to the Steam page, like it's got all the about this game like bullshit, and like one of its like animated graphics that it's got going is an explosive Souls light. Like and like so how does From Software feel about that? Like your game has become
a genre
so big that it's its own fucking genre. Like,
and
that
they have
has
a
to
subgenre,
feel, and they have a subgenre. Like that doesn't feel great, right? So yeah, I thought it was funny.
Yeah, it's got to feel good. I think too many games are put into that genre, though. It's like they have one thing in common, and it's like, oh, it's a Souls like. I'm like, every time bonfire thing, and that's it. It's like
every time the combat is a little bit difficult, and the bonfire
moving,
thing
and the bonfires. Yeah,
it's like they said that about
big things, though.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
But they said that about Stellar Blade. Like Stellar Blade didn't feel like a Souls game at all to me.
Yeah.
I don't play a ton of them. Like Elden Ring is like that's the only one that that's the only one that I've played a lot of. You know, I mean, I played Demon Souls. I played the first. It's I played Demon Souls. I played Dark Souls. I played Bloodborne. But those games, I never really got super far. Like I know for Demon Souls, I got like through the first 3 bosses or something like that, and then I stopped. And Dark Souls, I think I got through like the first 2, and then Bloodborne was like the first 3 or something like that. But I never put in as much time as I did in Elden Ring from like a Souls.
Well, I mean, do you consider the Jedi games to be Souls likes?
Not really,
because a lot of people consider those Souls likes.
Yeah,
I don't either. Because the only thing I think it has in common is the bonfire type thing, and that's pretty much it.
Bonfire resetting enemies.
That's it. Yeah, there's no Souls mechanic. The fast moving.
And that's the thing. It's like when I think about a Souls game, more than anything, it's about there's like the entire focus is a story with very little actual narrative and very little direction, with combat that it can get very difficult, especially if you have multiple enemies that you're trying to deal with at the same time. And if you die, you are severely punished. Those are the things that really come out.
Those are the OGs,
that's
like the FromSoft ones.
Like that could be Goonies 2 on the NES. Like, shit. Yeah, that's a wide swath, Chris.
You think so? Because I mean, I feel like people are saying like the Jedi games are Souls-like, and they're not to me.
But that's the thing, is like you're considering these other things that's a wide swath. But I'm considering something that's like the campfires and shit like that as a core quality of a Souls-like game, and the Jedi has it. So I feel it is.
Oh, I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that. But what I'm getting at is like, in addition, like I don't go into the Jedi games with the same like fear of losing in battle that I do with the Souls games. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it. I know.
Yeah, the risk isn't as big.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's about the risk. Thank you, Geoff. That's really what I'm getting at. I don't feel like the risk is there for a lot of these other games.
Yeah, and this has.
But with Elden Ring, it absolutely is, right? So.
Oh, well, of course, yeah. And this definitely has the risk because it has a mechanic which I think I don't like at all. It's so your souls in this is called reputation. So you get reputation by completing missions, by killing enemies, and you use that to spend on like upgrades or like new skills and stuff like that. But you also get the reputation by having your combo multiplier go up by not getting hit and by doing different things in a combo or jumping around, like traversing cool ways. And here's the issue with that.
Stylish shit or what?
No, it's more like it's more kind of like a multiplier like in like Batman or something like that, where you're like and in Mad Max, like the more you hit, it's just a number that goes up. So it doesn't give you like an S and A or anything like that. It's just kind of like a percentage basically. And you get a parry and you get a dodge. And the problem is the parrying is a decent window. It's not super hard, but a lot of the enemies have the attacks that you can't parry. So it's the traditional, you see like a flash of red and you can't parry it. You have to dodge, which would be fine if I knew where the fuck the iframes were in this dodge. So, and it happens so fast and you're already up in like the grill of the enemy. If it's not a parryable attack and it's red, you get hit a lot, and it even just like kind of like grazes you, and that resets your multiplier, which resets your reputation you're getting. So
damn, that's frustrating. Holy shit.
Yes, it's extremely frustrating, and it's so fucking stressful because you'll kill like 3 dudes and you're like, hey, I can cash in this 250 rep right now. Oh, you cash it in. You can cash it in anytime during a combo after a fight's done, or you can just leave it and go to the next encounter and keep that going up. But knowing that if I just get hit once, that goes down to 0 just makes it so stressful, especially when it's an attack that you can't fucking see if there's multiple enemies or if one has a ranged attack. And then, so I'm thinking too much of that is on my mind too much when I'm fighting, and I just get kind of
that feels like Souls.
No, exactly.
Like Souls
yes. I think I started playing it just before this a little bit more, and I stopped caring about that because I don't know how much I don't know how much that changes how much stuff you can actually buy and upgrade. Like, does it make a huge difference? Like, if you're not doing that, like if you're not doing that, like not what's the word I'm looking for? Like you're fucking
optimizing your combat.
Optimizing it. Yes, thank you very much. Yeah, if you're not optimizing it, like I don't know if I'm going to miss out on like a lot of shit because that's where a lot of the points come from. And I'm assuming no, because they seem to get a lot more doing other stuff. So I'm just going to forget about that stuff. But it still has a little bit of that flighty, floaty feel that I'm not really a huge fan of. And unlike something like Banishers had great characters and a great story from the very beginning that carried it for me. So even though it's not driven by the combat, that game, even though it's decent, everything they showed just looked like fucking amazing combat, and it's just not clicking with me yet. And it doesn't have that story. The characters seem okay. They don't seem like they're not like offensive or anything. They're not like, this is terrible. But I have no idea what the fuck's going on. I'm like a few hours in, and I still don't really know. I just know the main character hates gods for some reason. I think her friends do too. You befriend a god really early, this creature called Inky.
Inky. Right.
He's Inky. He's actually pretty awesome. He's like a kind of like magical fox looking thing.
All right.
And you can call him in to attack enemies for you and do magical stuff. And he talks to you and stuff like that. And it's actually pretty cool. It adds another layer to combat, which at first it's kind of like too many buttons. I'm like, too much shit to remember. But then once you get in the flow and you realize it's just like hitting another attack button. It's like, it's like having Torgal kind of, I guess.
Yeah.
It's like, just hit another button. And that leads me down another thing is this game has some of the worst audio. I don't know how to phrase this because the audio is fine. The voice acting is fine. The sound effects are fine. I guess the mixing.
Okay.
Characters that should sound like they're far away, like you see them like 20 feet in front of you or behind you or to the side, they all sound like they're right beside you.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh man, that's frustrating.
Especially with headphones, and that was driving me insane. Like you get a gun too. So you have a gun and you have an axe. Those are your two primary weapons. So different kinds of axes and a flintlock, like a pistol. And you can do the whole, that's another thing. They're kind of combining Bloodborne with Souls. Because you can dodge, you can parry, but also if you're gonna get hit by an attack, you can shoot them with the gun, and it interrupts their attack just like Bloodborne, and then you can go in there with like a counter, and the counters look fucking awesome. By the way, that is a plus.
Okay.
But I hit a dude with a rifle because you do get a rifle and you can like snipe, and it goes into like a Sniper Elite type shit where it goes like slow motion. You see the bullet.
That. Yeah, that's kind of bad.
That is actually pretty cool. The first time I saw that, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. So I did that to an enemy, and then I'm like, turn around, I hear him, I'm like, he's right fucking behind me already. How is that even possible? Like, I can hear him being like, oh, I'm coming to get you. You know, you're very mean. You shouldn't have done that. And then I turn around because that's how they talk. It's like, I don't know where this is. They don't. So I look over the ledge I was on. Yeah, and he's like running slowly, and he's still like 50 yards away from me, or like 50 feet away from me. I'm like, that should not sound like that at all.
That's pretty weird.
That sounded like he was right behind me when I turned around. I was like, oh shit. So I'm hoping they can patch that, or I don't know if that doesn't seem like an easy fix though. That seems like a straight up
a fundamental
mixing problem.
Yeah, I wonder.
Yeah, and I thought it was just the headphones maybe, and then when I played it without the headphones, it's not as noticeable, but it's still noticeable.
Still the same thing. Wow, okay. Shit.
That
really sucks.
So
damn.
Yeah, it's kind of like I want to love it. I really do want to like it. And I was really enjoying it the first couple hours, and then and I have seen a lot of people and a lot of reviews say that it's one of those games, so cliche, but it gets really good after, well, not really good, but it gets better after like the 4 or 5 hour mark when you're out of like the initial kind of area, which sure. I mean, because I have noticed with the more skills I get, combat does become a lot better. And it just seems more visceral and stuff. So I can see it getting there, but it just depends on how much longer. Like I'll still give it a shot. I mean, it's Game Pass. If you have Game Pass, I'm not sure how much it is on PlayStation or PC. I'm not sure if it's a full price game or if it's 60 or 50.
I'm not sure.
It's a Focus joint, and I know Focus, like that's their jam, right? Focus is like Focus Entertainment
stuff,
like, yeah, and they're usually pretty.
Like they have some diamonds out there too. Like oh shit, there was the Goblin game. What the fuck was that called?
The Goblin game.
Yeah, there was the Goblin game. Oh shit, I forget. But
like the same developer.
Yeah,
Kepler?
well, it may have been, but no, it was the Focus Interactive joint, and like just knowing that it was Focus, I knew exactly what that game was before going in for whatever reason. But never mind.
I don't know. Now that you got me intrigued too, because I'm
Goblin stealth game, and oh shit.
Oh, I know it came out last generation as well, right?
There were 2 games actually that came out.
Sticks or something like that. Sticks. Okay, yeah, I do remember.
No idea what that is.
Yes, I think I tried. I think that was on Game Pass for a bit, and I think I did try it out, but I didn't. Yeah, like a while ago. I think you played it. I almost remember you tried it or you talking about it at some point. I just can't remember if you liked it.
We played it at work. But I think it was Brad that played it. But
okay.
It was Styx, STYX or something like that. And,
yes.
But yeah, there were bright shining moments where it's like, okay, I see what you're doing here. Mm-hmm. That's cool. But then like everything else kind of fell apart.
And that's kind of like their MO. There's a few games that stand out, like a Plague Tale game. I think those are fucking great. And then Evil West, me and you are both big fans of Evil West. Like that was like Evil West nails what they were trying to do. Like the combat in that game is fantastic. And I'm just a little bit bummed that the combat in this doesn't feel like how it presents itself in trailers. I don't hate it by any means yet. I'm still going to give it a decent shot. I want to like it. The world seems cool.
The trailer looks like it's super flashy. Like they show everything they're showing is very flashy.
I'm like subpar flashy right now, but the flashiness is getting up there. And the traversal's cool. Like you can do some really cool stuff with traversal. It does feel a little bit floaty at times, but you can double jump, you can air dash, you can do all that stuff. You can, what's his name? Inky takes you and he like basically flies you through these like purple gate things you can unlock, and those become like the shortcuts around like the Souls, like again another comparison Souls when they open up shortcuts throughout the level.
Shortcuts,
Yep. It's totally Souls like. I mean, it's if you have Game Pass, definitely give it a shot. But this might be one of the ones that like next week we'll see if I'm still playing it. I'm hoping it comes around on me. But right now it's kind of like kind of like I can maybe spend my time playing something else.
Yeah, these games come around and they seem to stick in my craw a little bit, like when they're like free on Game Pass or whatever. And it's like I start to associate that level of entertainment with Game Pass as of late, and it's like, I don't know if I'm really playing a lot of Game Pass games. I don't know if I'm really enjoying it as much as I normally would, but. I don't know. That shit ebbs and flows. So sometimes we're in a fucking.
It does.
Yeah. Sometimes we've got a ton of shit that's coming out that it's like.
Yeah, it's feast or famine a lot of the times.
Yeah.
And I found some gems on there all the time. Like I think I was saying in the chat, like this year has been one of the driest, I think, for Game Pass for like absolute like great games. Like I don't think I played much on Game Pass until Hellblade 2, but then after Hellblade 2 was Still Wakes the Deep. There's something else I played that was a really good. And yeah, it just kind of goes. That's the nature of subservices, man.
Yep.
Like you'll go months with it. Since ZOW, I haven't touched a game on PS Plus.
Yeah,
but
I was contemplating or discontinuing my PlayStation Plus, but they reeled me in. I forgot how they did it, but it's like, okay,
Helldivers 2.
I think maybe that was. I think pretty sure that was it.
For the online, yeah. I don't think that was a Plus game, but it was definitely the online.
But didn't you get that on PC, Jason?
Oh,
I got on a PC for my son so we could play together because he didn't have a PlayStation account at the time. So everything got mixed up, and it was really weird for a while, but very frustrating. But it worked out.
Yeah, and I'm glad these, like, if it wasn't for like the sub services, I probably wouldn't even touch these games, and some of them become gems. Some of them become like I wouldn't have found A Plague's Tale if it wasn't on Game Pass, and Travis didn't recommend the first one a while ago. So yeah, this is definitely like cliche as fuck, and kind of like a, like not slander, but it's like it's a Game Pass game. Like it definitely feels like a game that was meant for Game Pass. Okay. Or a budget so far. So yeah, we'll see. As much as negative as that sounded, I'm not having the worst time with it. I've definitely played worse.
That's a ringing endorsement. I'm not having the worst time with it.
Because I think it's like more like with Banishers, I kind of expected. I knew what to expect, and with some other games like even like Rogue City, like RoboCop, I knew what to expect. So they either like went past my expectations or matched them. Whereas this, I actually had pretty high expectations. Like people like that Ashen game, even though I didn't play. I think I just tried like the demo out or something, and people were looking forward to this, and I thought it looked really cool. And then when it didn't grab me right away, it was kind of like, I mean. I'm only playing Mad Max at the same time as this, so I can stick this out for a bit until whatever comes down the road.
Yeah, I guess I kind of expected a little bit more out of this game, but
yeah, that's it though. I think that's it. Right. Chris,
I do not have a ton to add, so I haven't mentioned Baldur's Gate in a while, but we are still. Chipping away at our game. I know the game's awful. We are still chipping away at our multiplayer game. I think we beat well, I don't know how much I can say right now from a spoiler perspective. So but we finished the House of Hope. So if you guys know what House of Hope is, it's probably one of the best like dungeon areas in the game in Act 3. It's a fantastic like experience, and like there's just a lot of cool stuff in there, and there's a little bit of everything in House of Hope. There's a little bit of everything, including probably the best boss fight in the game, including like the end.
I hated that fight, but
it was the hardest fight. It was the hardest fight in my opinion. It was the hardest fight in the game. Was the boss fight in House of Hope. But it was we had a good time. It was a lot of fun.
Why can't I remember the boss fight in that?
The doctor.
Wait, am I thinking of the same place?
I think you're thinking of the blood dude. Okay.
House of Hope is hell. When you go to hell.
Okay. Does he? Never mind.
Oh yes, with the music.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
With the music. Yes, that's it. That's it. Yeah, you actually have to rescue Hope while you're in there, and you go into a certain there's like a separate part of like a prison within the dungeon that you have to go to.
And you're stuck down there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's really, really cool. But we'll talk about it. We'll fill in afterwards and make sure you know what we're talking about. So
I have one thing to ask, and that'll make sure that I know. Okay, all right.
That you know.
But so I think Baldur's Gate kind of ruined me a little bit, because one of the other games that I was playing this week was Jeanne d'Arc. Came out on PS Plus. It's free with premium, but who has premium? I don't have premium. Fuck that shit. I will happily pay $10 for Jeanne d'Arc. Yep. So I ended up buying that, downloaded it, started playing it, and it still feels great. Like it's a PSP game. It's running on PS5. It's
up-res.
It's up-resed a bit. So they up-res, and like the game itself looks great up-resed, but like in my view, it's like a lot of the text and stuff, and like a lot of the images and even some of the anime scenes look a little off because of the up-resing, and it's because of the different size of the screen and things like that. So it's obviously it gets a pass because of that. It's very, you're talking about a screen like this big with a PSP, and now I'm on a big 4K, 65 inch. So it gets a pass, but Baldur's Gate's kind of ruined me, because I went back to this game and it's like move, then attack, and then your turn is done. And I'm thinking to myself, why do I feel like I should be able to move after I attack? If I attack first, can't I move afterwards? Like, what is that about? And I'm like, I feel like that's something that should happen. And I start thinking back, and I'm thinking
spoiled. Oh my God.
I know, I'm fucking spoiled now. Like Final Fantasy Tactics, Vandal Hearts, like all of those like strategy RPG games that I loved, they all do the same thing. It's move then attack. It's like, if you just attack, you're fucking done.
You're done.
So it took a little while for me to accept the fact that Baldur's Gate spoiled me a little bit from that perspective. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. Like a lot of cool mechanics that are in there. Like those of you that haven't played Jeanne d'Arc, that are into like turn-based strategy games, like it's they have really, really cool mechanics. Like there's a burning, I can't remember what they call it, but essentially when you attack an enemy, if you do not kill that, well, even if you do kill the enemy, it basically creates this burning ring on the other side. And if you move your character into the burning ring, you get bonus damage.
That's right.
And then if your characters are close together, they essentially get bonus defense if they get attacked. So it adds like so many different layers of strategy, and every attack that you make has a counterattack to it. Like if you have to go in expecting that if I have a sword and I'm attacking this dude that has a sword, I'm going to swing and he's going to swing back. So it's going to happen. And then they integrate other weapon types like pole arms that have additional range, Yeah, so it's just it's all bringing stuff back. Like I'm starting to remember all the cool stuff. Like
I remember you talking the hell out of this game when it first came out.
Yeah, when it first came out, because this was like a year, like the first or second year of the podcast that we were talking about this on PSP, and it's one of my great regrets of games that I didn't beat is Jeanne d'Arc, because it was easily one of my favorite like turn-based strategy RPGs since Final Fantasy Tactics and since Vandal Hearts. Like I don't know if you guys played the Vandal Hearts games on PS1. No. Those games were awesome. They're fucking great.
Now, are there trophies as well in this?
There are trophies as well, so they added trophies to it. And there's some good ones, like the burning aura that you get. I got a trophy today while I was playing because I could, one of my characters I couldn't get. I didn't have enough range of movement to get to them to attack. So I just stood him in a burning aura and said wait and pointed him at the enemy. The enemy came up and hit me. And I get to hit him back with the power of the burning aura, and I got a trophy for it. And it was basically like, well, you asked for it, something like that. So yeah, they did a good job. I'm not super far in. I'm only like, I think I'm like on like the fifth or sixth battle. But
did they add some quality of life stuff? Because I fell off that because I found some of the battles to be really long, and then when you lose them, I was like, fuck this, I'm not doing all that again.
So the quality of life comes from the fact that it's an emulated game, and they've got all this little bonus stuff that you can do.
Like rewind functions and shit.
Yeah, so there's a rewind function, and there's a separate save. So like normally in the game, you save outside of battle, and battle has a quick save. But there's also now an emulation level save where you just basically are saving exactly where you are.
Okay.
So
yeah,
but the rewind feature is nice. Like and I think we were actually talking about it a little bit in the chat today. And I actually did find myself, in the chat, I mentioned that I hadn't really used it much. I did use it a couple times today because there was one situation where I made a move, and if in Jeanne d'Arc, if you get close to a treasure like on the map, it'll start to sparkle, and it'll have like little stars that basically show you there's something there. And I was like, oh, let me adjust my movement so that I make sure that I can get to that and get it. And it's like the second skirmish battle. There's a spot you can land on that gets you like 300 gold, which is pretty good for the very beginning of the game. So I'm like, let me make sure I can get to that spot, right? So, but yeah, the rewind function helps a lot with that. If you make a move that doesn't work, or puts you in a bad position, you can back it up and do it again.
That's really nice. Yeah.
Good.
One of the things that we talked about in the chat though is that it basically I don't know when it does it, but when you select a character, that character already has instructions on whether it's going to hit, crit, or miss. So it doesn't matter, or at least a roll for the hit. So if I don't know if you like go from like a less powerful enemy to a more powerful enemy or vice versa, if that would change things. But like one of the things that I noticed is there was one point where I rewound and I went up against one guy and I missed. And then I was like, wait, I don't want to attack him anyway. So I backed out, went against another guy, and I missed again. So it was already determined that he was going to miss. So that's one thing to realize. It's like you can't really cheat the system that way. You don't get the roll right away when you're attacking. That roll's already happened at one point or another. So that's one of the things that one of the ways that they kind of, I guess, that they balance the rewind so you can't over abuse it, but so it's not as bad as scum saving in Baldur's Gate. Oh, I missed. Let me reload and hit again.
I got to roll a 20. No problem. All right.
Yeah. I'll get there eventually. I got a 5% chance, right? 1 in 20. Let's do this. But yeah, it's great. It's still great. It plays well on the PS5. It's not hard to go back to. And that's always a worry for some of these games is like,
yes,
is it still something you can go back to and play? And it absolutely is. It's still like one of the best strategy RPGs out there. So yeah, if you're into that, go check it out. It's great.
Has this been a thing for a while that they're re-releasing like old PSP games? Because it's not like Jack and Daxter or something that was re-released as well.
This feels like it's pretty recent. Feels like it's pretty recent that they started doing all this.
Super cool. Yeah. And if they have the additional functionality of like rewind functions, let's go. Yeah.
That's cool. And that's the thing. And so I don't know if this is accurate or not, but from what I understand, if you already owned the digital version of Jeanne d'Arc, you get it for free. Like you already own it. Yeah. So I have the UMD version, so I had to buy it again. But if you bought your stuff digital, like maybe you had a PSP Go and you got all your shit digitally. So if apparently, if somebody knows this for sure, please confirm it. I'm just kind of doing hearsay. But
it probably wasn't much of a gamble for them to do that because how many people were downloading PSP games back then?
that's probably true. But again, $10. So it's not bad either way. And especially with, like, as you said, like the rewind feature, it has a big quality of life improvement right there. So definitely check it out if you're into strategy RPGs. I love it. It's great. And full on like anime cutscenes in between battles and stuff like that. Like they do a really good job with the presentation. And then besides that, it was Elden Ring. Lots of Elden Ring. Last week I think I hadn't faced one of the big dungeons yet.
So you're deciding which one you're going to do first.
Yeah, so I ended up doing trying to remember what it's called, the tower settlement. I did that first.
Yeah.
So the dancing lion was super cool, like very, very cool boss fight. Really enjoyed that entire like experience, that entire dungeon experience. And that's the thing I love about Elden Ring is like the dungeons you go into, like the big ones, are very epic.
Oh, they're great. They're so good.
Now I will say so far I've only done 2 because I also did Castle Ensis. Castle Ensis was really good too. Now I will say that these don't feel as epic as the primary game, but it's the first 2, so that might change.
They're definitely shorter. I find they're definitely
they feel
shorter than the original, than the base game.
Yeah, they feel shorter, and it feels like there's less opportunity for exploration. So there's still opportunity there, but it's not as much. Like they're not, but it comes with them being smaller, right? So that's part of it. But yeah, I got through the tower settlement. I got through Castle Ensis. Really back to enjoying it. I went back to one of my earlier builds when I was playing Elden Ring, when I first started playing it with the Blasphemous Blade, and it's doing very well for me. Highly suggest that because it's really good with survivability. Because any enemy you kill heals you. Any enemy you hit, you even hit with your with the art, from the sword, that heals you too. So really helps with survivability. And that plus some of the extras they give you, like with your spirit ashes and the NPCs that come in and help you on some of the bosses, like all that stuff makes things a lot more manageable. So I'm not going to say
honestly,
easy. I'm not going to say easy. It's
some
more
builds
manageable.
Some builds I would say do make it easy.
Blasphemous Blade kind of makes things a little bit easy sometimes.
It's
but
like how many times did it take you to beat Renala?
2.
Yeah. See, most people get stuck on her for like 30, like 15 to 30 times.
Yeah. And I use the NPC. I don't remember which one it was in there, but I use the NPC and I use my spirit ashes.
Yeah, for sure. There's definitely ways to make the game easier. Like they're not as hard to tackle as a lot of people seem that don't really play these games, which is understandable.
Guides out there, you know.
Oh yeah, there's so many.
Here's the stupidest question
Jeff and I have talked about.
Hear me ask. Stupidest question. Would the Souls games be as popular if they weren't as popular? Do you know what I mean by that? Like,
no,
it sounds dumb, right? But it's like, if it's not popular, they're not making guides for it. Like,
I think if there was no guides for it, though, it also wouldn't be popular.
It would be significantly less popular. Yes,
but the majority of people 100% follow guides and build guides, especially for sure. Yeah. I don't know people who say they don't, probably bullshitting you.
Yeah, and I've been completely open to the fact that I absolutely use guides. Like I am
same here.
Fucking, I have Fextra Life open while I'm playing it. Like that is, I am on there just like, where should I go next? All right, cool.
You have to be a fucking genius to figure out how some of those quests are done.
Yeah, the quest lines work. Yeah, like I would like Glenn was talking about the Alexander Shard quest, and I'm like, I would have never fucking finished that if I didn't have a guide in front of me. There's no way.
Same. Ymir's quest, do that one when you get a chance. You maybe do it now actually before you go up to the Shadow Keep. But
that's my next big dungeon. I believe is Shadow Keep. So but I know that when I read somewhere that when you approach it like all the NPCs kind of reset into their next positions.
Well, as long as you've talked to them all and done their steps, then you're good. But
and I need to figure that out. I need to figure out how to do that.
Yeah, that's actually like. If you're mainlining the game, that's like the halfway point. Even more than that, actually, if you're to mainline it after that. But it's a good time to kind of like maybe do some of the other side stuff. But there's like the Dragon Quest for Bale, like that. At some steps, I'm like, how the fuck would people figure this out? Like, I don't get it. I don't. In Ymir's quest, like with that's where you get the Shadow Blade. You said you wanted the Dark Katana.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like that. Some of the steps of that, I'm like, how? I don't like. No, people got like. I guess there are people who don't do it with guides, but those people, I don't know how. Like they must just only play that game as like a job. These games as like a job because
I mean, some of them probably do. And
I know making guides, yeah,
and that's the thing. It's like a lot of those people that make the guides and actually make some of that content on like YouTube and stuff like that. They all got the DLC super early so that they could start putting that shit together. Yep. So From Software very much knows how to get their shit out there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So,
they know people will figure it out, and they'll. That's part of the great thing about these games is the community is the good ones help each other out.
Exactly.
and
they keep and they don't give you shit if you need help, and they keep finding things. They keep figuring things out. Like there was and like you were talking about build videos. I saw a build video today that it was crazy, and it was using like there's like a dragon lightning spell that has like this essentially wave of lightning that comes off the player, right? Strikes multiple times, like out. And he killed the final boss in 2 hits of this thing.
Oh Jesus!
Like quite literally. So and the boss has a he's got a part 1 and a part 2, right? So
2 phases,
he did it once, and the phase switched, and he did it again, and dude was dead. But like the amount of stuff that you have to do, like to prepare and to set up, right? Because it's like this buff stacks with this buff, and then you need this buff, and then you give yourself madness, and then the madness gives you this buff, and it's like, I just don't have time for all that, dude. I just give me something that's not going to make me die as much. That's all I want.
And that's why outside of a few broken builds that you can tell was like a mistake and like the mathing of how stuff's supposed to work, like. You need to go through effort to get the proper things to get these builds that make the game significantly easier. Like the Sword of Alexander is not an easy thing to get.
Right. Yeah, and there's just so many play styles that you can experiment with too, right? So right now, for a while, I was using like Great Sword and Board, right, for a while, and now I flipped over to using to power stancing great swords. So now I've got 2 of them again. And I've played with power stancing katanas. I've played with power stancing hammers. I've played with a spellcaster. I actually built at one point in the original game. I built it so that there's one staff, and there's one what's the faith spellcasting charm? I can't remember what they're called.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Not the not flasks. Oh my god.
I don't remember what they're called. Anyway,
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, the little talisman things.
Yeah. So the spell casting equipment for both sorceries and for incantations. In the base game, there's one of each that scale both on intelligence and faith. And at one point, I had both of those leveled up all the way, and I was running around with both incantations and sorceries and just doing whatever the fuck I wanted, right? So, and that's the thing about this game. You can literally do whatever the fuck you want. So it's great. I love it. I'm back in it. It's back to being a terrible distraction throughout the day. It's like, I'm at work. Fextra life. Okay, what's next? You know, it's back to it. It's back to it.
Yeah, you guys are way better at that shit than me. Especially even like with Baldur's Gate 3. Like, I am just terrible with synergy with stuff like where there's any kind of like build involved. I can do like combos with character action games and stuff like that. That I can kind of get the hang of. But even Diablo 4, man, like I was having problems with like one of the first bosses, and then I looked up. I think it was on Fextra Life as well, the Rogue Guide, and then I had everything I needed, and I was like, oh, I wouldn't even think of putting these things together. I put the things together, and I fucking wiped the boss on the first try. I can't do that. My brain just doesn't grasp that type of thing. So
I kind of did that on my own with the multiplayer game that we're doing for Baldur's Gate right now, because I was like, I don't know what I want to try and do, but I want to play something really unusual, and I did. The character I'm playing is a bard rogue. Right?
Seals. There we go.
Seals, thank you. Yeah, they're like the seals. So the seals are what let you cast incantations.
Not the or seals, like
right. But so I played a bard. I'm playing a bard rogue, and I maxed out my dexterity with this character. And then because I'm a bard, I can use medium armor. I found medium armor that lets you apply your entire dexterity bonus. So I've got a character that's running around with a base AC of like 24, right? And then the bard has a move that adds 4 more to it. And then I've got a cloak on, the cloak of displacement, that everybody who attacks you with melee or ranged has to attack you with disadvantage. So I fucking never get hit. Like, to hit me, you have to roll 2 20s. And it's crazy. You
talking about that, like,
and I was impressed with the game because somebody, like when I was doing the boss fight in House of Hope, somebody hit me. I was like, "Wow, okay, cool, let's do this."
Yeah,
it's crazy how you can put stuff like that together, and it just kind of all melds together. Synergy is important in games.
I followed a guide for that as well, like for build guides for Baldur's Gate 3 for my characters.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And even then, my synergy sucked because if people were to watch me play that game, I played the most basic battles. Like, I was doing the same shit basically over and over again, and I had no problem with that.
But there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that.
I would, every once in a while I'd figure something out, I'd be like, oh, that's kind of cool that I figured that out on my own, and it's like a really basic thing, but I was like, okay. But that's what scared me. I had to stop watching videos that were like, oh, if you use this and this and this, like in a battle, like first you cast this and this, it just made me feel overwhelmed. I'm like, I just gotta play it. And
especially with Elden Ring, because in Elden Ring you can absolutely find people that are like, oh, one shot build, but you have to do like 18 things before you even start the battle. You know, it's like you have to cast this, drink a potion to get your FP back, cast this, cast this. You know, it's crazy. Did I tell you guys about what Nogric is running in Baldur's Gate? No. So Nogric is running a Tempest Cleric, and he found, I don't know if he found this online or if he just decided to try it, but one of the illithid powers that you can get is called Black Hole. So he uses Black Hole, sucks all the enemies into one spot, and then just does call lightning on them and just fucking
that's something shit. I actually did do. I did figure that one out. Yeah.
It's so satisfying to see. Because and then the Tempest Cleric has that channel divinity that lets you max out the damage of a lightning strike. So he will cast Call Lightning at level 6 and do like 100 fucking damage to everybody in that little circle. It's like, oh man, it's rough. It's like, it's great. So Baldur's Gate is a great game too. I'm just gonna say, there's a reason it was Game of the Year last year. So
I've heard, yeah.
But oh nice. I'm kind of jealous.
Still haven't yet.
But yeah, that's it for me. Elden Ring is great. Jeanne d'Arc is great. Baldur's Gate is great. Yay. Let's see. What else we got today, guys? Anything?
Yeah. There's a little piece of news. The Halo show was canceled. No one's surprise. So
good news, right? That was good news.
Yeah. Overall, yes. Bad news because I wanted to see where this train wreck was going. Like, I really did. Like,
those are the fun kind of shows. I just want to watch it to see how the train wreck's going to end up.
Like I hate watched it for the most part, and I'm mad that I spent the time to do that, and just knowing that it's over. Like, I wanted some kind of
you don't get the satisfaction of knowing where it's going to end.
Exactly, because now I'm just like, well, that's just time I'm just never going to get back, and I can't be like, I watched one of the worst video game adaptations of something that I love. But so they officially canceled it today, but it turns out I think 343 and Xbox, they're actually trying to shop it out to another network. So if it does get picked up, it better be fucking done right.
What was it on? It was on Prime? Or was it?
No, Paramount Plus.
It was on Paramount? Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
TV shows, I started watching The Acolyte finally. I don't know if you guys have watched that.
I've heard very bad things of that show.
It's all over the place. So it's, but we've only watched the first episode. First episode's pretty good. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Yes. Fill me in. You being a Star Wars nerd, you let me know what you think, and then I'll see if I should watch it. I mean, I watch fucking Halo. Apparently, I'll watch anything that I'm doing somewhat even remotely interested in. So
I watched Halo for 2 seasons, but fuck that Acolyte show.
Yeah. I've just heard like just some bad shit. Just like, yeah, with where it goes.
Yeah, when it comes to Star Wars, I love Star Wars, but I often will just go into Star Wars to have fun, and that's what it's, to me, that's what it's all about. I don't worry about like the direction they're taking the story or any of that shit. I just want fun and spectacle, and I want the characters to be fun, and that's it. So it's like even with something like the sequel trilogy, it's like
I don't mind the sequel trilogy.
Those movies were not great.
Hold on.
The sequel trilogy. So
sorry, no, those are
so I
like the prequels more than the sequel trilogy.
Absolutely, the prequels are better than the sequels, but but there were things about them that I had fun with, and that's what
first one was great.
First one was great. Yeah, second one was not as great.
A movie.
And the third one was not as great.
I still haven't seen the third one. I kind of refuse to. Like I don't think I want to. Yeah.
Do you know what happens? Have you had it spoiled for you?
I think so. But
what's interesting is I also just started the 3rd season of Bad Batch, and I feel like I think they're using the 3rd season of Bad Batch to kind of set up
retcon
what they did with 9. Oh. Yeah, I feel like that's what they're doing. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. But cool. Well, then I guess that's a show.
Yeah,
I guess so. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you all for listening. Hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, please tell a few friends about us. Hit like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Those things all help us out a lot, and we certainly appreciate them. We are super close to 500 subscribers. Please subscribe. Like we do our best, and we're just trying to have fun with you guys. So it makes check out our LINKTREE right there. That LINKTREE will get you to our Discord, and you can come hang out and talk to us, and talk about games, talk about Jeanne d'Arc, talk about shitty AA games that Geoff likes to play, and the Halo show, all those things. And then it also leads you to Patreon if you feel like supporting us, and we appreciate that as well. So, but until next time, my name is Chris.
I'm Jason.
And I'm Geoff.
Player Games, we love you. Talk to you next time.